We're going to look at it. So foul there on Indiana, on hole there. But then that is a technical.
That is a technical. Dead ball, contact technical.
It's a little surprising to see so many of these happen in one game because...
Oh, and I don't like the way Lexi Hull...
The Indiana Fever finished their regular season in style with
Kayla McBride this time around. Last time these two shared the court, McBride's elbow smashed Hull in the face, and the refs somehow penalized Hull.
An 83-72 win over the Minnesota Lynx. It was their third straight victory, and it showed just how tough this team has become heading into the playoffs. For Lexi Hull, this game meant more than just another win. The last time she faced...
Final score, Fever 83, Lynx 72. Indiana ends the regular season with an exclamation point. Fever have won 3 in a row as they enter the playoffs.
The Lynx, Kayla McBride's elbow caught her in the face and, somehow, Hull was the one who got the foul. This time, Hull got her payback with a big play that stunned the crowd. It wasn't just a highlight. It was personal redemption and proof of Indiana's fight. The road to this point wasn't easy. The Fever lost almost half their rotation to injuries. Caitlin Clark went out with a groin injury. Sophie Cunningham tore her MCL. Sydney Colson tore her ACL.
I know a lot of people will talk about Nafisa not playing, but I think they're really good without her. You know, they're just a really great basketball team. So I think it was a big win for us because they set the bar high standard-wise. We know what to expect when it comes to Minnesota Lynx, and so I think going into the playoffs, it was big for us because being able to know Courtney Williams, knowing that her thing is a pull-up, knowing that now instead of not knowing that, it's big for us because we give ourselves a chance, and if they are the standard, we get to see where we are.
Kayla Beebe had knee problems. Ari McDonald fractured her foot. That group alone could make a starting lineup, but instead, they were stuck on the sidelines. No team can prepare for that kind of setback, yet the Fever had no choice but to push through it. Then came the biggest blow. Caitlin Clark's season was declared over. What was first called a nagging injury became a full shutdown. Her rookie year was supposed to bring the Fever back to national attention, but instead it ended with a press release. Losing Clark wasn't just losing a scorer. It shook the team and the...
One of the things that I've been impressed with these guys since even the offseason, really, the ones that I was able to work out with in the offseason, is how hard they work. There's a work ethic and there's a work style. And to approach everything in the same way, to be so energetic, enthusiastic, and dedicated every day. And I felt that way in training camp too. There weren't any days where I had to bring that out of them. So I think it's the nature of the women that we brought into this organization to continue to just bust their butts and play hard.
Fans who had rallied behind her. Even with all of that, the Fever kept going. The team's work ethic showed every day in practice and on the court. Coaches didn't have to force energy out of them. It was already there. With Clark out, someone had to step up. Kelsey Mitchell took on that role. She didn't just add a few more points, she became the leader and centerpiece of the Fever's late-season push. Kelsey Mitchell became the Fever's go-to star this season.
Kind of all the other things like offensive rebounding that she can do.
Knocked away, Boston comes up with a steal. Here is Mitchell veering through the paint and lays it in.
She's so quick, and especially when she gets out in the open floor, you'll see her coming down. The quick left to right crossover just gets by. I thought she was sprinting. I didn't think she was lumbering.
It was a lumber sprint.
Up for the big girl.
Mitchell like a blur. That's it.
She scored more than 20 points a game, night after night, while also running the offense. Defenses doubled her, scouting reports focused on her, but she still delivered. She passed Tamika Catchings for the best single-season scoring mark in team history, proving she could carry Indiana when it mattered most. Aaliyah Boston took on the other side of the job. She scored about 15 points a game and averaged more than 8 rebounds over her last 10 games. She was the steady
Only 8 teams have ever done that. 7 of them went on to win the title. As Boston gets free and lays it in.
She will be on my first team.
Boston in the paint, sneaks through 2 and lays it in.
presence the Fever needed. Whether it was guarding bigger forwards, grabbing tough boards, or keeping possessions alive, Boston gave Indiana stability. She even set a new team record for rebounds in a season, showing how much she anchored the defense. With Mitchell and Boston leading the way, the Fever kept competing when logic said they should have been done. Injuries piled up, lineups kept changing.
Fever dub with the MVP, okay? Bow, bow, bow! Hell yeah. You already know what it is. Dubs in the chat, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Let's go to the playoff with some momentum, baby.
But instead of giving in, the team treated it as fuel. Role players turned into consistent scorers. Short-term signings made big contributions. Bench players stepped into bigger roles with confidence. That mindset shift was the turning point. The team stopped viewing their setbacks as bad luck and started using them as motivation. By the time they faced the Lynx, the story wasn't about who was missing anymore, it was about how tough this group had become. That's why beating Minnesota wasn't just another win. It was proof of resilience, redemption, and belief. For Indiana, it meant momentum, pride, and a reminder that no matter what's stacked against them, they're still standing. The Fever weren't just closing out the season. They were facing the best team in the league, the Minnesota Lynx, who had been on top all year. For Indiana, this game wasn't just about pride.
Before the playoffs start Sunday tonight, it's regular season game 44 of 44 for the Fever as they host the WNBA's best team in 2025, the Minnesota Lynx.
It was about survival in the playoff race. They had already locked in a playoff spot, but a win meant they could climb to the 6th seed, depending on other results. That might not sound big to casual fans, but it matters. A better seed means a more favorable matchup, a real shot at advancing, and a chance to prove you belong with the league's best. This was game 44 of 44, the end of the regular season, and Indiana's challenge couldn't have been tougher.
It'll be Alana Smith jumping it up against Aaliyah Boston. The ball is tipped, and it's time to hoop at Indy.
A 10-0 run to start this game for Indiana, and Minnesota wants a timeout.
Powers up top, tees it up, 3, it's good! Energy!
Kicks it out, Powers, you bet! Back-to-back threes from Aerial Powers.
The Fever double up the Lynx in the first quarter. It's Indiana 28, Minnesota 14.
Just weeks earlier, the Fever had dropped 4 of 5 games. Their momentum was gone, the excitement around them had cooled, and most people thought losing Caitlin Clark had killed their chances. Teams in that position often fold. But Indiana didn't. Instead, they flipped the script and won 3 straight gritty games. That third win came against Minnesota, and it mattered because nobody thought the Fever could take down a team that's strong at this.
Indiana is 4 for 4 from three-point range. Mitchell connects on a 3. Sims leaning jumper is good.
Kelsey driving left, puts it in off the backboard.
Will to it for the first half. Indiana shoots 58% from the floor.
Point in the season. From the opening tip, Indiana set the tone. Aaliyah Boston jumped against Alana Smith, the ball went up, and the Fever took off. A quick 10-0 run forced Minnesota to call an early timeout. Aerial Powers then lit it up from deep. Back-to-back threes had the Fever doubling up the Lynx, and the home crowd could feel it. Indiana wasn't backing down, not against the best team.
Mitchell, open 3, is good. You can. Kelsey Mitchell is a hooper.
Passes Dantas left corner 3, bullseye. Shot clock, Boston left block, makes it in.
Team in the league, Not with the playoffs just ahead at the end of the first quarter, Indiana led 28-14. From the opening tip, the Fever showed they had a plan and the confidence to stick to it. Their 10-0 start made it clear they weren't just trying to keep up, they were controlling the game. By halftime, they held a double-digit lead and never looked like they were going to give it up. Minnesota tried to fight back, but poor shooting and Indiana's tough defense shut the door. The Lynx hit only 2 of their 23-point attempts, and every miss made it feel more like Indiana's night. On the other side, the Fever shot 58% from the floor in the first half, knocking down threes and attacking the paint with ease. What made the win even sweeter were the unexpected heroes. Odyssey Sims, who joined the Fever on a hardship contract, scored 15 points off the bench. She didn't just fill minutes, she proved she still belonged at this level. Aerial Powers had her moment too. When Minnesota started to close the gap in the second half, she hit back-to-back threes that crushed the Lynx's momentum. It wasn't just 6 points, it was the reminder that Indiana wasn't going to—
You're done with the MVP, okay? Bow, bow, bow! Hell yeah. You already know what it is. Dubs in the chat, you already know what it is. Woo! You already know what it is. Let's go to the playoff with some momentum.
To let this one slip away. Natasha Howard also made a huge impact. She defended, rebounded, scored when possession stalled, and gave the Fever steady production at both ends of the floor. With so many regulars injured, her ability to cover those gaps kept Indiana balanced. The bench, once seen as a weakness, looked like the deeper unit against Minnesota. Instead of being intimidated by the Lynx's reputation, the Fever played like the stronger.
Just weeks earlier, she'd been on the receiving end of Kayla McBride's elbow to the face. Blood on the court, confusion in the arena, and then the unbelievable twist. Refs hit Hull with the technical instead of punishing McBride. The whole scene turned a tough night into an outrageous one. Fans didn't just feel angry for her, they felt insulted on her behalf.
Mitchell, I think that's a 2. Doesn't go. And now it's McBride getting Hull. Yeah, that one might be a problem. Indiana just taking shots to the face.
More complete team. The win pushed Indiana to a 24-20 record, their first winning season since 2015. After 9 long years, the Fever finally finished above .500, and they did it with resilience, grit, and a team that refused to fold. For years, the Fever—
Tonight for Indiana, but then Bolton gives it right back, and Howard cashes in.
To perform like this, but they have 5 different players almost at all times who can bring the ball up the floor. Usually 4 or 5 were adept at making shots from deep. I mean, you just saw a big there creating her own look as well from Natasha Howard. Career high in terms of her field goal percentage, and you see her here, the little spin to the middle. That's a tough shot.
Fever went through false starts, missed chances, and rebuilds that never worked out. Now, it finally feels like things are coming together. This winning season isn't about celebrating average results, it's proof that the culture has changed. The players know it. The coaches know it. And the fans in Indianapolis, who kept showing up all year, know it too. Even though Caitlin Clark couldn't play, she was still part of it. Cameras caught her on the sidelines.
The Minnesota team is only accustomed to watching all season long.
Now, one thing to know. Vegas, one thing to know. Vegas currently is a 3, but if they win out, they will be the 6.
It came in the second quarter when Hull found herself matched up on McBride at the top of the key. One quick dribble to her left, a hesitation that sent McBride lunging. Her balance disappeared, her legs tangled, and the league's cameras captured what everyone in the arena instantly recognized: Kayla McBride had just been dropped and looked like her ankles took the brunt of it. The crowd roared, and within minutes, the clip exploded across social media. Indiana fans called it karma. Neutral